Okay, this is a video tutorial on how to do the investigation for matrices. First thing you're going to do is you're going to go to classroom.google.com. If you haven't accepted my invitation yet through email, you could just go directly to the site, log in with your school Gmail, and type in this class code. Once you get in, there's going to be an assignment for you, which is the investigation for matrices. Under that, there's going to be two links. One of them is going to be a sample morph GIF, which is kind of like what you're going to make during this investigation. A morph would be like a transformation from one image to another. And then open up the Google template, the Google Sheet template that is also linked to that. Okay, after you have that opened up, you're going to see a big grid like this, and then this worksheet is to help you prepare to make an image for that grid. Okay, and as you can see in the sample page, I did my morph as the Totoro face morphing to the Pikachu face. So I think the best way to do that is to draw one face and then the other in these two provided grids here. Just sketch them. And you don't have to do something artistic. You could just like write words or something like that if you want to. But for those of you who would like to draw a picture, I think that it looks neater. So, like for example, if I was going to draw the Totoro face, I would draw, I would just sketch it here to eventually figure out which squares I'm going to color in and which squares I'm not going to color in. Okay, so based on what I just drew here, I'm going to color in squares. So the squares that are his skin, I'm going to color in as gray. Yeah, okay, come on. Okay, to there, to there, to there. You get the idea? I'm just coloring in squares. Okay, leave his eyes. Black nose. And then I leave the white part of his fur for his belly. Okay, something like that. And then, somehow I need to do his eyes here. So something like this. Okay, so that's my Totoro face. And then my other image is going to be a Pikachu head. Oops. Like that. Okay, and then now I'm going to just change my, actually these images that are going to be in the file are going to be grayscale images, so you can't make them yellow, okay? I'm just going to color this in. You don't have to watch me do this. Okay, and basically this is it. I didn't have a lighter gray, so I did this in brown, but you just have like different shades of gray for this GIF you're going to make. Okay, so now it gives you instructions on how to fill in the Google Sheet. So I'm going to transfer to the Google Sheet, which you're going to open up in Google Classroom. So hold on a second. Once you have the Google Sheet open, you're going to see that you have a top section here with the E-grid, and then in the middle you have the A and the C grid, and if you go down a little bit, you're going to see the B and the D grid. And the ones you're going to actually fill out are the A and B grid. You shouldn't be able to write in the C, D, or E grid. So what are you going to put in the A and the B grid? You're going to transfer the picture that you drew on the worksheet. For example, you're going to transfer this picture here. You're going to transfer it into the grid. And so, like for example, the top of his ear is at this place here. So I'm going to color that in like with the color code 4. I'm going to use like 4 for the gray, and then I'll use like 8 to 10 for the black, and then I'll use 0 for the white. And so I'm just going to start filling in his ears as I drew them on the worksheet, and I will do that offline. So when I come back, it'll be all done. Hold on a second. Okay, so just in a couple minutes, I filled in the squares that corresponded to the squares that were sketched in on my worksheet. And you can see I have the grayscale image here. I just made it with white. And white, I just left the squares blank. And the gray, I filled in with 4s. And the black, I filled in with 10s to make it darkest, okay? And then last of all, there is a factor here, which has a 10 in it, right? And in here, I'm going to put a number from 0 to 10. If I put a 0 in, the whole thing disappears. If I put a 5 in, it comes back, it's kind of faded out. If I put a 2 in, for example, it's even more faded. If I put a 7 in, then it's closer to between 5 and 10, right? So you can see that this number here is kind of like a darkness factor. So like whatever I filled in here, it's like a multiplier. This number here multiplies times each one of these numbers. You can see that when I put 7 here, I multiply times the 4, and they all become 28. The 10s, which were the eyes and the nose, I multiply by 7, and they become 70. So whatever I put in here is like a multiplier. It multiplies times every single element of this matrix. And by the way, you can see that this is a matrix, right? It's a rectangle of numbers, and across the top we have the number of columns. There's 20 columns. Across the side we have the number of rows, which is 14. And we store a number in each one of these. Now we're not putting zeros in for white, but 0 is white, okay? And I can control like what these numbers get multiplied times with what we call the scalar multiplier. So I'm going to put in 10 for now, and then I'm going to go down and I'm going to fill in this bottom grid, and I'm going to fill the bottom grid in with the Pokemon Pikachu picture. And when I do that, you're going to see that at the top here it combines the two pictures by adding each one of these elements together. So like for example, if I fill in a 4 here, you can see that the 40 here, this is 4 times 10, right? Becomes 40. It gets added to a 40 that was here, and then it becomes 80 here. Okay, so this E grid is actually the sum of the numbers in the C grid to the corresponding numbers in the D grid. Okay? And just to make things go quickly, I'm going to show you what the sample looks like. The sample actually has both pictures already done. Okay, so at the top I have the Totoro picture, here I have the Pikachu picture, and you can see that they're getting added to each other here. And the scalar factor for each one is, like this one's 10 and this one's 8, right? But what I can do is I can change the 8 to 0 or something lighter, and then you can see that it just reverts to the Totoro picture. And that's how we're going to morph these. We're going to start out with the Totoro picture being grayscaled by 10, the bottom picture grayscaled by 0, and then we're going to capture it. And so with Windows, you capture it using what you call snipping tool. Okay, and when you do snip, you just press new, and then once you press new, you move the crosshairs to the part that you want, and you release, and then you just save it into a file. I'm just going to save it into a file called 1A. Okay, because I already have 1, because I already did this one time. And then I'm going to change the grayscale here. For the first picture, instead of being 10, now I'm going to change it to 8. And then the second one, instead of being 0, I'm going to change it to 2. Okay, and then it's starting to change from one image to another. I'm just going to do snipping tool again. I'm going to save the second image. And then I'm going to save that as image 2A. Okay, and then I'm going to get the third image by changing the top one to a scalar factor of 6 and the bottom one to 4. And then I'm going to capture this one, and you can see that it's starting to morph from one of the images to the other. So this is going to be, I'm going to save this as 3A. And and so I'm going to continue on. So the next one is going to be a scale factor of 6 and or 4 and 6, and then 4 and 6, and then 2 and 8, and then 0 and 10. So I'm just going to do that offline, and when I come back, I'll be done with these captures. Okay, so now I have captured all of the images here. And now I'm going to take all the images, I'm going to upload it into this site called GIF Creator, and then I'm going to make a GIF out of them by alternating the images, making it into a little animation. So the first step is really easy. It asks to upload the images into the site, and all we need to do is like find your images. I have them in this folder here. And then I'm going to get my 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, 5A, and 6A. I'm going to upload them, and they just all come up at the same time. Doesn't take too long. Okay, and then it's already, you can see that it's already working. It's already changed into the GIF. Now I'm going to do it a little bit different. I'm going to go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to go 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to duplicate the 2, duplicate the 3. Oops, I duplicated the 2 twice. Duplicate the 3, duplicate the 4, duplicate the 5. And then I'm going to move one of the 5 so that it's after the 6. I'm going to move the 4 so it's after the 5. I'm going to move one of the 3 so it's after the 4. And so on. So you see now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. And now if I play it, you can see it morphs back and forth between the two images. Okay, from Pikachu to Totoro and back to Pikachu again. Okay, and then if I want to save this, which I do want to save it, then I go down here. It says Create GIF Animation. I press that. It'll download it. And then I download it, and it comes down to your computer. You just like save it to your desktop, and then after you save it to your desktop, you are going to upload it to Google Classroom to share it with the rest of the class, and that's it. There are two really important matrix concepts that we discovered in this investigation. One of them is scalar multiple. So if we put a scalar multiple in this box, then basically what it does is it multiplies this number times every single element here. And so for example, this element here in this box here, when it gets multiplied by the scalar multiple, like it gets multiplied by, say, like 5, it is going to be 3 times 5, which is 15, and it's going to put the 15 here. And that's what a scalar multiple does. The other important concept we learned was that matrix addition. So if I have two matrices, if I have a matrix, the Totoro matrix, and I have the Pokemon matrix, if I take the corresponding element here, like this one here is 90, if I add that together with this one, which is 0, then up here I'm going to get 90. Now if I choose one like this one here, which is 15, if I go down here and add it to the corresponding one, which is 90, then I can see here that I get 105. So like the corresponding elements here get added to the corresponding elements here, and then it gets the corresponding result here. Okay? So that's how matrix addition works, and subtraction works in much the same way.